What's up, YouTube? I got a straight to YouTube special for you here. I mentioned in the Discord the other day that my goal in the upcoming weeks is to build the best Kaito shell I can. I think Kaito's such a fantastic card. It's a staple in Legacy at the moment. It's obviously a staple in Standard. But in Modern, it's like a one of. It's a two of, maybe in some builds of Dimir. And I think the card's better than that. So I'm trying to see if I can push Kaito to the absolute limits, find a 4 of shell for it that really maximizes on its ability to come down and absolutely take over the battlefield, take over the game. So this is what I'm starting with. Some of the key inclusions or lack thereof. We've got 3 copies of Tamiyo, 8 2-drop creatures with 4 Orcish Bowmaster and 4 Psychic Frog. We've got 4 Subtlety, 3 Quantum Riddler, full 4 Kaito, full 4 Force and Negation. There's a reason for that, but let me get through the rest of the list. In the sideboard, 4 Consign, 2 Mystical Dispute, a Harbinger, a bunch of one-ofs, 1 Strategic Betrayal, 1 Toxic Deluge, 1 Thoughtseize, 1 High Noon, 1 Rest in Peace, 1 Stony Silence, 2 Pest Control. I'm kind of figuring out if I think the white splash is where I need to be or not, so I'm trying out some different cards, see how I like them in different matchups. But the notable takeaway from the main, and this is really geared after like the standard Dimir list, I'm running 0 copies of the card Counterspell. To make up for that, I went up to the 4 Force and Negation and the 4 Subtlety. The reason I say it's very reminiscent to standard is the standard lists aren't heavy on counter spells. Instead, running Kaito and Curiosity is like your top in refill tap out card advantage. This list functions very much the same way. We've got Kaito and Quantum Riddler on the top end to help out with the cards. We've got 4 Bowmaster, 4 Psychic Frog instead of stuff like 4 Drowner, Flood Pits Drowner, and 4 Deep Cavern Bat. We've got Tamiyos effectively over Spyglass Siren. And we're just trying to make this deck get Kaito into play. We want Kaito into play turn 3 as often as we possibly can. We've got all these extra blue pitch cards with Force and Subtlety to take advantage of the extra copies of Kaito, as well as get our Quantum Riddlers online. So that's what I got for you. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope we get to take out some sweet opponents. And yeah, I'll catch you back in the wrap up after it's all said and done. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content and commentary. All right, win the die roll for round number 1. Love to be on the play. Yep, functional hand. Got mana, we got Bowmasters, we got Subtlety if we absolutely have to interact. There's a Frog for the top. Really want to be looking for sources of card advantage. So Frog being able to rebuild the hand if we have to Subtlety is really nice. Polluted Delta go. Could be an opposing Frog deck, so I think I'm just gonna sit back this turn and not play Frog into like a potential spell snare. I don't want to play Frog, have them answer it, and then be stuck in a spot where like they get to Frog back and I have to Subtlety, and all of a sudden like I'm down 3 cards. Is in fact not a Frog mirror. All right. Let's play out a Bowmaster. Yep. Give another trap or a surgical. Getting a Frog down on my turn would be really nice here. Frog's very good against mill, able to eat surgical extraction targets, able to stop things like glimpse or not glimpse, their ancestral recall card. Visions Beyond. That one. Able to stop that one pretty good. Get that out of the way for you. Definitely subtlety a crab if given the chance. So yeah, this is frog doing frog things. Stop this surgical. I assume they have something like never mind. Yeah. Can't do much about that. Okay. How aggressive do I want to get? I could have a fatal push here. So, like a little hesitant to go all in on a frog. So, I think I'll discard like one or two. Probably two. Get rid of Edict. Do have the fatal push. Okay. Would I rather get the Bowmaster damage in here? A lot going on. I think I am gonna go for the Bowmaster damage. And oh, did that just auto pass through? Oh crap. I didn't know that was gonna auto pass through on the frogs. I should have eaten a bunch of stuff to get them down below or get myself down below 20 cards in the yard so that the Visions of Beyond's not drawing 3. But it could be fine since I have double Bowmaster out. But really, I would have eaten like 20 something cards out of my yard because it would shut off Visions of Beyond and it would shut off what's it called? Shut off Cling to Dust. So I do have a crab. Let's go ahead and subtlety the crab. Which feels obviously a little bad losing Kaito over, but if one of their last two last two cards is a land, I really don't want to give them a free mill here with the Shelldock Isle. Let's see what they do. Put crab on top. Did have a land. Need to not fetch. So I know my swamp is still in the deck. I should still have another watery grave too. Yep. And they can definitely hit me with the Shelldock Isle now. So we'll get to see what that is. Last card of fetch land. Yep. They didn't Shelldock Isle on my turn, which means I might have a chance to counter something here. Fractured Sanity. I would like to counter that. Draw a couple cards. Put you down to 1, so now you can't fetch. And I am not going to play out this frog because I don't want them to have like Field of Ruin. They should be dead next turn regardless. Especially with Force Negation to counter any non-creature spell like that. But I don't want to put myself in a position where they find a field, take me off of double blue, and then I miss something like, oh, they actually had another card in hand and I didn't count correctly or something like that. It's really, really minor, but it can happen. If I can choose to just not play into that, I usually go that route. All right, so I've got Mystical Disputes coming in, Thoughtseize coming in. I could bring in Rest in Peace. It seems like an awkward one to have Rest in Peace against the deck that's already like trying to mill you and put stuff in your graveyard. But Rest in Peace shuts off their we saw Murderous Cut there, shuts that off. It shuts off stuff like Drown in the Lock. It shuts off Visions of Beyond that care about like cards in the graveyard. I don't know if I'll have enough to actively want that. Might just board out like Kaito, Subtlety, and a Riddler. Not worry about Rest in Peace. I think I'm kind of fine with this. Yeah. It's always game 3 if I see something different. This hand I'm going to throw back because I don't have an answer to a crab. This also doesn't have an answer to a crab, but does have Thoughtseize into Frog. And that's pretty good. It doesn't need to fetch on the first couple turns, which makes it a little bit better into Archive Trap starts. Well, now we have an answer to a frog or to a crab. I'm just going to take the second crab. All right. If they keep on top, I'm probably gonna Edict because I assume this is gonna be a third land. Well, Maybe I'm going for push instead. I do need to get this mystical dispute out of hand at some point. It's like, it's a little awkward how this is lining up because I'm going to fatal push the crab. Sure. I'm going to fatal push the crab, and then I assume they're going to hit a land and have Tasha's here. And if they do that, then I cast the frog. The problem is after I cast the frog, they have to fatal push. They don't get to mystical dispute it, which means they get to save mystical dispute that hits Kaito. And it's just like an awkward sequence. So I think I'm going to main phase Bowmaster right here so that it dodges mystical dispute. And then if they fatal push half of it, I still get to ninjutsu Kaito next turn. Unless they milled all my lands. Nope, still got an island. Went after the token. Why are they going after the token instead of the actual Bowmaster? Interesting. Okay, so let's attack him with Bowman. No blockers. Ninjutsu Kaito. Now they have a mystical dispute, so I'm just gonna start making Kaito emblems. I'm not gonna worry about drawing because, like, even if I find an untapped blue source, if they have a mill spell and then I try to go mystical dispute, they'll be able to dispute me back. So that doesn't really do me a whole lot of good. So they Cephalid Coliseum themselves. Go ahead and get our land down. Now, I think I'm just gonna keep embleming. And I'm gonna go for an upkeep Bowmaster on their turn because it presents lethal with Kaito, so there's a reasonable chance that they're gonna have to fight over it. And I'm hoping their only way of fighting over it is this mystical dispute to just have to like tap 3 of their mana. Yeah, just like that. Tap 3 of their mana, like time walk themselves, and I get the mystical dispute out of hand while keeping my mystical dispute around. Hedron Crab. I've got 23 cards in library. So we'll just mystical dispute this. Their last card could be a land. Quantum Riddler. We'll put you down to 1. Put you down to 1. Play a frog. Say go. That way they're dead if I like top deck another Bowmaster. They can't crack a fetch. Snaring Bridge is pretty good. Sink into Stupor is in my yard. That can buy back Sink into Stupor. So we'll Tamiyo, Quantum Riddler, draw 2, flip Tamiyo, tick up, and pass. I guess I'll make a Kaito emblem too. Okay, so I've got Bowmaster. 1, 2, 3. I have one more copy of Bowmaster, and I've got Tamiyo buyback Sink into Stupor, which they showed the land right here, so I know they can't interact with that. Buyback, Sink into Stupor. Yeah, Sink into Stupor, you're ensnaring bridge, and attack for lethal. So nice little round 1 win over Mill. See you back for round number 2. Round number 2, we're on the draw. Pretty good hand. We've got turn 1 interaction for like a 1-drop. We've got Thoughtseize, Subtlety if we have to have it. Got a card advantage source. Scalding Tarn. So could be Storm. Boros not usually running Scalding Tarn. I don't know if there's any other red decks I can think of in the format. Called it correctly with Storm. Okay, so I've got answers to Ral. So I'm going to take the Artist talent. That's kind of a problematic one for us. Hopefully they whiff on this land and we can just untap, like play Tamiyo. It looks like they kept on top, so I assume they've got the land. Strike it rich is fine. All right. So now we don't even have to play out the Sink into Stupor, which is nice for the subtlety. Yep. Let's go ahead and Fatal Push the Ral. So you've got a Glimpse in hand and an unknown. Looks like they're just going to glimpse for the mana. Okay. So we have a chance to flip Tamiyo this turn, which looks pretty appealing after a Force and Negation draw. So we can attack with Tamiyo, Cling to Dust something, try to hit like another land or hit a hit another land or hit another blue spell. We'll target just the Glimpse, like best card in the graveyard. If they find a Past in Flames, they're just going to be like making mana, then have 1 draw off Manamorphose. All right, so we do find another blue spell. So we can go ahead and flip Tamiyo, have Force Negation up or Subtlety up. Pick up. See you. Kept a card on top. Friends resolve. Sure. Bloodstained Mire, Reckless Impulse. Also sure. Land. Love to see that. We'll just go ahead and play out this Marsh Flats and plan on if they like manage to find a Ral, we'll just hard cast Subtlety. Artist Talent. Definitely don't want that sticking around. Get a Surveil land. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. You can go away. We don't really need you. Never mind. So we're going to be going for a Tamio ult next turn. I think I'm just going to pass the turn with Subtlety up. I'm not going to play the Kaito here. It shouldn't end up mattering. Well, they're going to crack the Sunbaked Canyon, so it matters even less now. I was going to say if they went to their turn and they like played Ral and I Subtletied, they might be able to pop the Sunbaked Canyon, draw back into the Ral and play it again. So maybe I want 2 pieces of interaction for the Ral. Because as soon as we get back to my turn, I Tamio ult, and that's going to find us some way to win the game. So like the only thing I care about is stopping them from killing me this turn, and Kaito doesn't do anything on board to stop me from, or stop them from killing me this turn. So there's not really a big reason to play the Kaito. So we got High Noon, we've got Rest in Peace, Strategic Betrayal hits the graveyard, Thoughtseize, usually like bringing in a couple copies of Consign. To answer things like Ruby Medallion, you could hit occasional storm triggers, especially off things like Empty the Warrens. Kaito is a little clunky. Quantum Riddler is a little clunky. Can trim some number of my removal spells. Maybe Subtlety. Take out a Subtlety. You could take out another Quantum Riddler, but I kind of want reasonable number of both of those. Might just take out a push. We'll take out a Subtlety. The deck really wants to have a critical mass of card advantage engines and a critical mass of free spells, since they just kind of pair off each other pretty well. So we got Full House, Fatal Pushes over Bowmasters. Unfortunately, no lands to cast any of those things. This is pretty good. Keep, and I think I'm just going to put back the Undercity Sewers, because I really don't want to play a tapped land on 1. Tap land for 1 is like the international sign for go for it. Like, make me have exactly force. Where if I play an untapped land, it becomes, okay, well, Spell Pierce is in the equation, Spell Snares in the equation. maybe I can't just go for it. All right, so Ruby Medallion, I'm going to let go because I've got this High Noon. I would really like to just get that down and then untap next turn with Frog. Try to find another blue spell. There we go. So I can force a negation without having to give up my Psychic Frog. In case they have something like a prismatic ending here for the High Noon. Yep. So that is your one spell for the turn. Most of these decks, like Storm, typically not going to have a way to get rid of High Noon at instant speed. Usually it's going to be like static prison, prismatic ending, stuff like that. They could maybe be splashing green for like a disenchant effect, but maybe like pick your poison. But still, more often than not green cards or not instant speed cards that are doing that for them. Yeah, artist talent's fine. Another card that is not really not really impacting my ability to win through High Noon. Spell Snare is great. Orm's Chant. Sure. This is just Orm's Chant to not allow me to cast a spell this turn, but I still get to attack with my frog, so I am perfectly happy taking that exchange. Yeah, another Ruby Medallion is fine. I assume this is just to get more cards, looking for an answer for this High Noon. Opponent does not have a second copy of Orm's Chant. So we'll just play a new copy of Frog, I think. I don't think there's a big incentive to thought seizing here instead of just like bolstering my hand. Especially when I have interaction for their turn. Yeah. So from this point, I've got interaction for something that they do on their turn if they go to fight over the High Noon. When they pass back to my turn, I'm probably just going for the strategic betrayal. They've already got a Past in Flames in the yard. So for the most part, like they've got a setup of the stuff they need to go off. They just need to get the High Noon off the board. But if I Strategic Betrayal, get rid of the Past in Flames, then if one of their cards is like an answer to High Noon, they have to have a really specific set of cards after that to be able to go off. And I've got some points of interaction, so I'm probably just going to knock the known information out of hand, get the graveyard out of there, and go from there. So nice little 2-over Storm. Catch you back for round 3. Round number 3, we're on the draw again. I would definitely prefer to have some piece of free interaction in this hand. If I'm up against a fair matchup, so like a Jeskai Blink, an Esper Blink, something like that, this hand's pretty good. If I'm up against Tron, I'm in a lot of trouble. Boros, it depends on the start. All right, so Marsh Flats, probably Boros. Not Boros. Never mind. Complete opposite of Boros. Thoughtseize. Sounds reasonable into most Thoughtseize matchups. Quantum Riddler, Kaito. Pretty good. Unless it's like Necro, but Necro's usually not running fetches. So TBD on that one. See what opponent's up to. Flooded Strand. So not mono black. Could be like an Esper Frog mirror. That'd be fun. Overlord. Okay, so it's just Esper Blink. Esper Blink, and they got back an Emperor of Bones. I don't have to worry about that next turn. Yeah, Subtlety is pretty good. Probably just play out the frog here, see what happens. I don't really want to subtlety. If they play like, sure. I was going to say, if they play like Solitude first, I'd probably subtlety, since I know about this. I know about this Emperor of Bones in hand. All right. Do they just have? It's just Felia. No Felia. Kept on top. I do need to find an answer for this Overlord before it kind of runs me over. Yep. I'll let them go to combat. I don't care about my frog getting exiled if they want to go for that. Just go ahead and edict. But I kind of want to give them the chance to like go for exiling their own Quantum Riddler. Though I doubt they're going to. Nope. That's pretty good. Let's hit you with the Thought Seize. Riddler, push, ephemerate. Ooh, it's a little dicey, isn't it? Like, I need to take the ephemerate to be able to answer the Overlord. If they find just like a fifth land here and hard cast Quantum Riddler, that's not great for me. Do I have to subtlety if they do that? All right, so they've got Fatal Push, Unknown. I go for Bowmaster. They go for Fatal Push. So I think I just don't do anything here. So they just draw one. We hope one of those two blind cards isn't an ephemerate. Another Overlord. What they get back? Get back the Emperor again. They did. I'll just go to my turn. I wouldn't mind drawing an untapped land. Last, we do not. All right. Another Kaito would have been pretty good. Can't complain. They go for an Emperor. I'm just going for the subtlety. Gonna do nothing. Upkeep fatal push. No. See what we find. You have a bowmaster. Be a really good time to find a Shieldred's Edict. Put the bowmaster on the bottom. Cool. Quantum Riddler finds. Thoughtseize. Not the most useful piece of cardboard right here. I think we just go for the second Warped Riddler. Try to hit land drop to be able to start hard casting Riddlers. Plus going for Thoughtseize just doesn't do anything since they can fatal push in response. And if I take any creature, then they can just get it back with Overlord next turn. Yep. All right. If they cast Quantum Riddler, we're definitely just scooping here, but they could just like Emperor, hit my Bowmaster my token, and I think we just scoop to that. Deceit. Yeah. We're kind of in like scoop to whatever phase. I don't think I really care about Deceit as a magic card. Just it's not really something I can deal with at this moment. Rest in Peace. Maybe Rest in Peace is fine here. Rest in Peace shuts off Emperor. Shuts off Overlord. Could be worth it. Force Negation definitely coming out. I'm going to say no to Rest in Peace. Just, no, they had Emperor too. If they were only on Felia, I probably wouldn't bring in or wouldn't keep in Spell Snare. But since they showed Emperor of Bones as well, that one's a little more enticing. Let's board out a Snare, actually. Emperor and Felia are the only things it hits, but those are like the only things Fatal Push hits too. So I don't really want like too many things that only hit Emperor and Felia. Let's just get a Kaito down and make life easier. Yeah, hand's not great, but it's not really a matchup I want to be mulliganing in. So opponent's on a mold of 5. That's nice for us. See what they got. I like Thoughtseize here. They've got an Emperor. They've got a Felia. Got a Fatal Push. Got a Deceit. I'll just take the Overlord. Say go. Definitely had some good pieces here. Thankfully, Felia cannot blink Deceit. It's not Warp, it's Evoke, so it's going away right away. Decide to bin a backup Felia. They might just go for the Deceit right now. Kind of looks like they are. Sure. Of note, this is not grief. It's a little bit worse with the blink effects. All right, so they're gonna leave me with the frog, which is a little bit dangerous because you give me the chance of like top decking a another Thoughtseize. I'm gonna bin that. I like Bowmaster, but I'd really rather find like a Kaito here. That'd be much better for me. Frog is gone. You have the land for the Felia. All right. So Felia gets flashed in into turn. Now they have 2 unknowns in hand. I've got Sink into Stupor to interact with something. Quantum Riddler. I don't really want you to have a Quantum Riddler. But all right. So option number one, I can bounce the Thalia, so they only draw one, which is pretty good. I think I like that a little bit more. If they have like, if their last card's an ephemerate and they go to bounce the Thalia or blink the Thalia, that's fine. If their last card is an ephemerate and they hit the Quantum Riddler, all right, sure. We took a gamble, but they would have had an answer to the Quantum Riddler anyway, so. Not a Kaito. I guess we can just main phase this Cling to Dust, looking for like a mystical dispute, Thought Seize. Two, three, four. Hit Frog. All right. See what they got. Pretty good. We're just going to get back Overlord attack. All right. So we're going to take a decent little chunk here to get back. Deceit. It could have gotten back Witch Enchanter, just had the guaranteed land drop. Deceit Solitude. Am I going for the stun? I don't think so. I think I'm just going for the emblem and fatal push now. That way, if they can deceit plus Felia, but if they deceit and like blink their deceit, I've got Kaito stunned down. Solitude doesn't really do anything. I really feel like they should have gotten the guaranteed land off Witch Enchanter so that they would have fifth land now, and if they drew sixth land, they could hard cast Deceit for both colors. Looks like they're just going to bounce Kaito. Find a Thought Seize. No. This is just Felia. No, my card. Don't know anything currently in their hand. Boggart Trawler. Okay. That's fine. Do you have a Thought Seeds for this Deluge? Ophelia, Blink Kaito, attack at me, sure. Second Kaito. So I could go ninjutsu, or I could go deluge, make an emblem, attack ninjutsu new Kaito, and make it so that I have a lethal attack next turn. I think I like that. So go emblem, deluge for 2. Attack. Jutsu new Kaito. That makes this an attack for 6 instead of 5, which means I can emblem next turn for lethal. And we'll draw in case we find a subtlety. I don't think third Kaito is quite what I want. If they do something like land Quantum Riddler, then we've got a forced chump with Kaito. Okay. Double Bowmasters. I think I'm still making the Kaito emblem and making this into a forced chump. They could have like Felia Ephemerate. All right, carry on. Fair enough. Get to go to game 3. All right. What do I want to change out for game 3? I kind of want to bring that Rest in Peace in. Emperor of Bones is like an absolute house. I think if it was uh just Overlord, I wouldn't bring in the Rest in Peace. But since it's Overlord and Emperor, it seems a little bit better. Spell Snare, I think I'm like not interested in at all. Cling's like really good if you don't see Rest in Peace, and just completely dead if you do. I'll bring in one consign. I'm on the draw. I could drop like a frog on the draw. I wish I could have seen if they're running a little bit more blue. Like I didn't see Teferi, I didn't see Mystical Dispute. So I don't know like how much blue they're running. Man, I'm gonna get rung over the fires if I keep this and I don't see the second land. Yeah, I gotta mulligan this. I want to keep that. It's got like all the stuff I'm looking for. I'll keep this and throw back Dispute. Cry when I get Thought Seized on one. Yep. Should have kept the 7. Should have kept the 7. I guess on the bright side, if they take the Rest in Peace, I can get a Surveil land because I no longer need white mana. Show them I drew that. Keep that on top. They might have like another Thought Seize for this Rest in Peace, in which case I could just play out Tameo next turn. They just have Felia. Yep. So what would be worst case scenario here? I guess like Felia. They can't have it now because it'd be like Overlord plus push or something. Yeah. Can't let him go buck wild with this Quantum Riddler. And I think I'm going to Surveil here instead of playing the Rest in Peace. I think finding like an answer to this Felia is more important. Assume they put the Quantum Riddler on top. Put the Quantum Riddler on the bottom. Well, that might change my opinion. We're going to shock in and make them think we drew something good. Another Riddler. You have the fatal push. So they did have everything. Man, that's rough. I needed them to not have third land Quantum Riddler fatal push. And it turns out they had third land double Quantum Riddler fatal push. So I get the Felia off the board, but don't really have a way to deal with this Quantum Riddler at the moment. Plus, they're kind of way up on cards now. All right, well, I guess technically that's a way to deal with Quantum Riddler. Attack in, doesn't matter if they block or just blinking Tameo or cracking our clue and flipping Tameo. Solitude. Oh man. Opponent had all the goods. Okay. Do you have an upkeep way to draw an extra card off Quantum Riddler? Push your own Riddler, play a Bowmaster. Nope. A little disappointed. Okay. I guess technically I've got two answers to the Riddler, so fair enough. Now, allegedly, I've got some of those in my deck too. So they've led me to believe. Card is very, very good when you get in these grindy mid-range games. Even if you don't like warp and blink it, still just being able to like have one around, play another, draw three like they just did is absolutely backbreaking. Yep. Can also do that, I guess. So that does at the moment keep us alive. I guess we just pass back to them and let them attack or do whatever. Because there's a pretty good chance that they're just going to attack at me. And if they do that, I get to untap with Tameo. Maybe buy back Shieldred's Edict or something. Hit Solitude. No, we'll hit their Quantum Riddler. Staying alive. Not for long. Prismatic ending. Flicker Wisp on my Tameo. Yep. Anything that gets me out of this? Quantum Riddler. Yeah, so this is kind of the difference of seeing one Quantum Riddler versus 3 is what it is. Oh, Bowmaster keeps me alive. If they don't have an answer. Just play Rest in Peace. I'm already dead if you kill my Tameo, so no reason to play around that. What you got? Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize. Another Flicker Wisp. Sure. I guess get a Bowmaster trigger. Just for the sake of getting to take out every Teferi I possibly can. We'll take it out and then die. All right. Well, picking up a loss to Esper Blink here. Really unfortunate in our 4 Kaito build, but I think we only saw Kaito that second game. Either way, not a matchup I'm particularly geared for at the moment. Still feel like we should have put up a better fight, but is what it is. Catch you back for round number 4. Round 4 on the play with what could potentially be a turn 3 Kaito. Teki Akuma. I'm pretty sure they used to play a bunch of Shadow. Let's see if I'm going crazy with that. Teki Akuma. Mid-range, Domain Zoo, Dimir Murktide, Force Energy, Domain Zoo. Guess not. Maybe I'm thinking of someone different. Did play a bunch of Dimir Murktide though, so that could possibly be what I'm overlapping. Weird one. Like, I can't just throw that card back in a blue black X mirror. It's kind of like if there's ever a matchup you want Quantum Riddler. These are them. All right. So hitting third land, really good. Hitting third land and opponent not having a frog here while I'm tapped out. Also good. All right, so they're just playing the straight flash variant. Which is somewhat good, somewhat terrifying. This build that they're on does run 4 copies of or three copies of Shieldred's Edict. Which can be a pain. Yep. There is a very interesting interaction that it's good to know about here. When Kaito comes down right here, it's not considered a planeswalker, even though it has loyalty abilities. So you have to keep an eye out if you're on the opponent's side and you like Shieldred's Edict named Planeswalker, because you're like, oh, Kaito, Planeswalker, need to get it off the battlefield. Shieldred's Edict will not hit it right there. So you got to be careful and name non-token creature. But then, like, once you go to your turn, if you're the Flash player, naming Planeswalker. Narset, Parter of Veils. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Attack it, Narset. Make sure that even if this Bowmaster doesn't resolve, they can't use it. So we're going to go for Subtlety. I'm going to go for Subtlety back. See what they do with their Subtlety. Bottom, sure. Master resolves, finishes off Narset. Now Kaito cannot zero to draw a card because they haven't lost life this turn. So I'm going to cling to dust. Try to hit my land drop. We do. And I already ticked up Kaito. So Kaito's definitely not doing anything. All right. Pass back. Bowmaster, my Bowmaster. Seems reasonable. Also reasonable. So let's go Kaito Emblem. I want to keep applying pressure. Swing with both. And I think I'm going to pass to their upkeep and then go for Bowmaster on their Bowmaster. Could have another Bowmaster on their part. Magic. Makes perfect sense if you just never question it. All right. We're going to kill my Bowmaster. I'm going to attack in, plan on drawing because I want to start hard casting these Quantum Riddlers again. Like, more emblems isn't really doing a lot for me. We'll take a Spell Snare. Very much surprised that that frog resolved. I thought for sure they had something. But I guess if they had a Spell Snare, they wouldn't be letting my Bowmasters resolve. So they could just have like Wan Shi stuck in hand. What do they do off this? They discarded Force. That's probably, yeah. I was gonna say that's probably GG's after we get a turn unhindered with a frog, a Kaito attacking, plus like a Bowmaster token. Not surprising that that's a spot to call it. Don't care about High Noon, Stony Silence, Rip, Consign. Strategic Betrayal, probably not because of Bowmasters on their side. Consigned to Memory could hit Wan Shi Tong if they're running Wan Shi Tong. I didn't see it. Just board out some forces. Did not expect Narset out of them. That's an interesting one. Do have Wan Shi Tong. Wan Shi Tong, Fatal Push, Bowmasters, Narset. So do I want to just take the Fatal Push? do I care about that? Because if I get Kaito, then I don't care about the fatal push. I could take the subtlety with the expectation that they're going to fatal push instead of bowmasters. Yeah, I'll just take the push. Try to make them use use subtlety plus a blue card. Main phase bowmasters. Oh, sure. Top deck a Field of Ruin. That's a pretty good one. So what am I doing? They've got a Narset, a Subtlety, and an Unknown. And they surveilled to the top. No, they put a Subtlety into the yard. Narset, Subtlety, Unknown. I could go for Bowmasters right now. See if they decide to Subtlety that. That's probably pretty good. And if they don't, I just take out their Bowmasters. Consult the star charts is their last card. Put Bowmaster on top. I think I'm attacking. I don't care about them pinging for one here. I'll take another card. Yep. Spell Snare. I do have the card, eh? Okay. What is my play? This is a part of Magic that I think people don't take enough time on, is like recognizing how plays can change. Like I can just go attack at Narset with Frog. And if they block with Wan Shi Tong, then maybe I look at like casting Bowmasters. They spell snare, and then I Shieldred's Edict away their Narset. I could look at attack Narset with Frog, and if they don't block, then I Kaito, or I could just discard two cards, which is probably fine. I could go for Bowmasters first. I could also just go for Shieldred's Edict. No, I think I just start with attacking Narset. And if they don't block, I Kaito. emblem. We're not dead to their crackback. Kaito's not dead to their crackback. Field of Ruin. Never mind. Now it is. That's a good draw. How do I want to sequence this? Am I just... No response here. We're going to have the spell snare regardless. I could go after a token creature. Edict. I am fairly surprised that they would spell snare there when you know I have a bowmaster. I guess that makes sense too. Yeah, that Field of Ruin was such an amazing draw on their side. I think I just have to cast Quantum Riddler. Am I dead if I cast Quantum Riddler? I draw 2. Never mind, I'm just dead if I do that. Should have thought about that more. Just make a comment about not thinking enough and then proceed to not think enough. Days Undoing. Why? I don't think they realized that that would end the turn and they wouldn't get the Bowmaster triggers. That's like really, really good for me here. I mean, my life total's not great, but Empty the Pits. That is a legal magic card that can be cast. Let's take Consult. Thoughtseize away. What are we attacking? Kind of want to attack. All right. So what does this thing do? Delve. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Fetch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's potentially 3 zombies. So I think I just have to take that, as awkward as it is. Do the pits. Play out Tamio. Go ahead and fatal push Wan Shi Tong. Play a land, say go. And if they hit a removal spell, I'm dead. Unless it's a 2-mana removal spell. If they hit like Bitter Triumph, I'm alive. This is a spicy assortment of cardboard. All right, I can't go down to 1. So let's stun down the army token. Yeah. Maybe. Guess we're going to attack first. This is actually a weird spot where I think I should have attacked with the Tamio and then second main phase gone to cast new Tamio to try to get them to subtlety the Tamio, and then I cast Psychic Frog. Oh, but they had Spell Snare. Never mind, that didn't work. Overthinking it. Overthinking it. Now they have to start getting in their mind, well, if I have a removal spell, I might just kill them on the crackback. And I am not going down to 1. Field of Ruin. Sure. Don't have anything to fetch up. Get to force the chump with the Bowmaster. Pick up Kaito. Play Cameo. I don't think I play the Psychic Frog here. I think I just sit back with double Spell Snare. But I think I should have played the Tameo off the Dark Slick Shores. Thoughtseize away my frog. Let's say I have another 2-drop. Okay. We go attack with Kaito. Make another emblem. Say go. Die to a Bowmaster if you got one. Opponent fails to find. There's no way they're only playing 3 basics in a Field of Ruin list, right? Get there. Let's see what you got. Nice. Interesting. So we played the Flash deck kind of like what they played last week. It seems like they made some noticeable changes to it, like this empty the pits card, empty the pits. We saw the Narsets that the build we run or ran wasn't running, that Spike wasn't running. So some interesting card choices there. I'd really want to see. We saw Days Undoing, so they had Days Undoing Narset, a little bit of like an unfair combo finish. I'd be interested to see what other changes they made to the list, but anyway, GG's, catch you back for round 4, or round 5 actually. Round number 5, playing for the illustrious 4-1. 1 lander on the play in the blind. Gonna ship that. Technically no lander on the play in the blind. So I think we're going down to 5. Thankfully, oh no. I was about to say something along the lines of thankfully the card Quantum Riddler is pretty good for getting us out of mulligan situations. Getting rid of the Thoughtseize here because I need and it's against Eldrazi. Yeah. I need lands, and there's no way that I'm casting this Thoughtseize on turn 1 on a mold of 5 that needs lands instead of looking for a second land with a Surveil. Ugin, Eye of Storms. Yuck, 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 yuck. All right. Well, as the streamers say, well, chat, we're pretty cooked this game. Even if I find a second land, I really need to find a third and ninjutsu this Kaito, because if they just have like land Kozilek's command, exile my frog here, I kind of have nothing else going on. They have Dismember. I do. Main deck Dismember. Okay. I see. Said it once, I'll say it again. I really want to get down this Kaito so that it dodges Kozilek's command. But if Kaito's not going to be sticking, then I might as well throw it away. Not have another 7 drop. All right, well, we will turn this into a race. See if we can find a force negation. That'd be pretty good. Bowmasters, not awful, not great. They have like another Thought Knot Seer. Okay. I guess I'd be pretty happy here if they attack at me with the Thought Knot and I get to Bowmaster ping the Karn, untap, draw for turn, kill Karn, hit them, draw another card. That would be a pretty okay sequence. Snaring Bridge. So swing that Thought Knot at me. Okay. Am I jumping this frog? I've got a new frog, so I can jump the new frog. Which means I probably want to just be okay if they decide to block this frog. All right. So you've got access to a bunch of mana. You've got an ensnaring bridge in hand. That's not bad. Sacrifices a non-token creature. We'll go Karn. I'll go Karn with the just take out Karn. Okay. My outs are becoming like Sink into Stupor. Another Karn. Just a Kozilek's command. Is a Kozilek's command. I'm going to create some spawn tokens too. Yuck. Okay. Definitely attacking. Does fatal pushing a token 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They would have mana if I fatal push a token. I don't think I have any outs at this point. I needed to find something like a force and negation before they found a Kozilek's command and did not. So them being up at 8 mana means pretty much everything that gives me fits is online now. If they have another Devourer, if they have a an Ugin, if they've got the 7-drop reach dude, they're all kind of wrecking me. All right. Sink into Stupor off the top. One time, dealer. Not a sink into Stupor off the top. We've got a Cityscape Leveler that I can subtlety. Which doesn't feel good, but if they don't have another land. Dang it. I got to do that whole thing where I don't speak into existence what I don't want to see. put the cityscape. Yeah, cityscape leveler on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So do not currently have cityscape leveler mana, which I suppose is kind of cool. So maybe we can get a turn of like play out Riddler here. They don't get to cast Cityscape Leveler on their turn. We find Sink into Stupor. Got something else. Sire of 7 Deaths. Okay. Fatal Push the spawn token. I think I need to cling to dust. I think I need to find, I was going to say more lands. Technically that counts. I guess we'll scoop the second Flesh Raker. I guess. So I want Stony Silence. I want Consigns. I've got a Harbinger in here. I don't want all of my Fatal Pushes, but I kind of want to keep in like a Fatal Push because of Flesh Raker. Subtlety is a little bit better against Eldrazi than it is against like it's a little bit better against the Tron variants than it is against the like green red Eldrazi ramp variants, because you don't really want to ever subtlety like a Myco spawn or a Chrysalis or something like that, but you're pretty happy subtletying a Karn or a Sire of 7 Deaths or a Thought Not Seer. I really want to go Thoughtseize into Frog, so opponent has natural Tron. Fun. Good times all around. Natural Tron and the Waste, actually. Just noticed that. That's a pretty good start out of them. So I guess we get to see if they've got a Dismember as one of their 2 unknown cards. Looks like not at the moment. Sure. Okay. Cool. So let's go on a path of trying to get this game over with as fast as we can. I could consign the warp trigger and have lethal next turn, but I don't think there's a reason to tap off of consign here. Trinisphere is fine. Don't care about Trinisphere. I'm completely planning on just attack, counter something on your turn. Next turn, attack again. Realistically, I should have discarded one more card there. I should have discarded the Force Negation to put them down to 2 so that the Harbinger was lethal if they found something to answer the frog. And I don't think there's anything, like, they can't dismember now, so I don't think there's anything they could have that consign misses that Force Negation hits that I care about at this spot. So unfortunately, we had to show them like half of our sideboard cards. So little unfortunate. See if that comes back to bite us. Don't have to show much of anything here. Turn 2 Bowman, turn 3 Kaito, Force a Negation available. I keep this and I bottom what? Bottom a land? So I can get a Surveil on turn 1, but I need a blue card for Force. I need Bowmaster to set up turn 3 Kaito, and I need like the payoff card to get the card advantage going. Ditch a map, ditch a Kozilek's command, ditch a Fletcher. That's very scary because those are 3 of like the better cards they can have. So I'll be interested to see what they decided to keep over those. All right. Kozilek's command for 1. All right. I think I go for the Bowmaster, ping this. Oh, they drew. Crap. That's a punt. I should have Bowmastered before this resolved. I didn't notice that their second mode was draw, but I don't know what else it would have been. Yep. So hopefully this turn is interact with something. worth interacting with, probably. Make it look like I've got a harbinger that they might have to respect. They're going to dismember my bowmaster. So they're playing around Kaito here. Unfortunately, there's not like a good way to signal or to not signal Kaito. You can't like Kaito, or you can't play your fetch and then like Kaito or fetch inside a combat without giving them a window to respond to the fetch. It probably would have been better if I had gone for a main phase, fetch a swamp instead of going for the fetch an island. That might have given a little less information. Because then it would have looked more like I had a harbinger. All right. Don't think I play anything else out this turn. I think I wait. I don't want to play a frog and give them a window to resolve a Kozilek's command. Just second thought, not. It's kind of rough. I think I draw this turn. I think I draw there because I found another threat to play out. So if they've got like a dismember, they can't get rid of both of my threats, and I get to protect the Kaito. If I find a piece of interaction like a removal spell for the Thought Knot, a consign to memory, then I can fight over something. Like so. That puts me back in a better position. All right. Just gotta give up Kaito. Or give up Tamio. So this is currently 6 that I'm swinging in for. Is there any way to make this lethal? I don't think so. So that can flip Tamio, which is pretty good. That's probably worth it. Top. Tamio flips. Pick up, pass back, and now they've got a lethal frog they have to deal with through a consign, 2 cards in hand. They're going to swing both at Kaito. They can't dismember. And checkmate. Heck yeah. Any sort of Eldrazi or Tron variant is always so close of a matchup. So what did we think of the league? I mean, the goal, like I said at the beginning of the video, is to try to make Kaito like the best card it can be in this deck. I am jamming for Kaito because I want to see it as often as possible. And it wins games. Like it won us games there against Eldrazi. It won us games there. It won the game 2 against the Blink match, the one match we did lose. That's like what Kaito's there to do. Kaito's there to come down, provide a clock, provide card advantage, kind of fill that gap you need of a really, really sticky threat that's able to just dodge a bunch of interaction to keep the card advantage rolling. Does that job extremely well. Now, do I think this is the best Kaito shell? Absolutely not. I know there are Grixis shells with like Ragavan that are going into Kaito on turn 2. I don't like Ragavan in current modern. So I'm kind of sticking away from those shells and trying out something that I think is a little bit better at like jamming Kaito turn 3, hard casting it turn 4, and making it a legitimate threat. And I think this shell's like doing that fairly well. The 4 Bowmaster, the 4 Frog, 3 Tamio provide you a lot of bodies to get Kaito online. Out of the weaker slots of the deck, Cling to Dust wasn't as great here as it's been in previous leagues. The Quantum Riddlers are cool. They are a little clunky. It might be that I just wasn't seeing them enough when I wanted to see them, or being too reactive with Quantum Riddler made it so that it was difficult to get cards out of hand and draw to. The sideboard cards, Consign, obviously fantastic. Lights out magic card. I like having the 4th copy of Thoughtseize in the 75. Couldn't really find room for it in the main, but I didn't mind it in the board. The High Noon Rest in Peace Stony split is more just like trying to figure out which piece of interaction I want right now. I still haven't narrowed that down, so I'm hoping to see them more as the upcoming matches go on. Lands felt good. Early interaction felt good. Overall, I'd give the list like a 8 out of 10 to where I want it to be. I think it can be a little bit better on the Kaito front, a little more threat dense, but that's what we're here to figure out. So anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Thanks so much for watching. As always, links down below to everything from like the Discord to the Mana Traders affiliate link, the TCG player affiliate link, Twitter, Instagram. We're trying to pick up the short form content. So if you get a chance, feel free to check that out. See some cool signed cardboard at the moment. But other than that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe. Enjoy some good food and company. I will catch y'all back live later. Adios for now.